Futures canola market is stronger Friday morning, seeing follow-through buying interest after yesterday's rally. Canola up sharply, 20 to over $40 per ton higher. July up $42.80 at $757.90 per ton. New crop November up $39.40 at $732.40. Both the old and new crop contracts are moving above key moving averages, and that's contributing to the speculative buying interest. Gains in the Chicago soy complex provided spillover support as well amid dryness concerns across the Midwest. European rapeseed and Malaysian palm oil are also up on the day. The agricultural markets in the U.S. will be closed Monday for the Juneteenth holiday, while canola will trade its usual hours. Positioning ahead of the U.S. long weekend could lead to some choppiness throughout today's session. In the U.S., soybean, corn, and wheat futures are all posting solid gains as shifting weather forecasts look relatively dry for the next week, with just over half of the U.S. corn and soybean growing areas said to be experiencing drought conditions. Soybeans up sharply, the July contract 30 cents higher at $14.58 per bushel. New crop November up 41 cents at $13.33. That new crop November contract is trading above $13 for the first time in over 2 months, with bullish technical signals contributing to today's gains. Better than expected monthly crush data released after yesterday's close was also supportive, with the 177.9 million bushels of soybeans crushed in the U.S. last month, the largest on record for the month of May. Corn, also supported by hot and dry Corn Belt forecasts. The July contract, it's up 7 cents at $6.30 per bushel. September up 17 cents at $5.87 per bushel. Uncertainty over Ukrainian grain exports, recent weakness in the U.S. dollar, and strength in energy prices all contributed to today's rally in corn. U.S. wheat futures, they are higher as well, in sympathy with the corn and bean markets. Minneapolis spring wheat up 21 cents in the September contract at $8.54 per bushel. Kansas City 33 cents higher in September at $8.41 per bushel. And Chicago wheat, it's up 29 cents in the September contract at $7.01 per bushel. Chart-based speculative buying was a feature in wheat, with some stops hit on the way up. Poor production prospects for the U.S. winter wheat crop currently being harvested, and declining condition ratings in Europe were also supportive. Let's look at the ICE futures and U.S. markets for Friday, June 16th. In Winnipeg, for marketsfarm.com, I'm Phil Franz Warkentin.
Ready to roll this haymaking season? Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John is ready, and they're offering 0% financing or cash back on select New Holland tractors, telehandlers, and hay equipment during the Ready to Roll sales event going on now. Being ready for tomorrow starts today, so hurry in to Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John and save. Offers end June 30th.
For commercial use only, customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital Canada Ltd approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required.
The opinions expressed during this show do not represent those of this station. If you've missed any of this show, you can follow the podcast at energeticcity.ca. Now, an in-depth look at the news and information shaping our community. This is Moose Talks with your host, Doug Craig, on Moose FM.
Welcome to the show today. Now, a little later on, we're going to be talking with Gord, Humphrey, and Jason Palffy of the Peace Country River Rats to talk about jet boat racing in the Peace and how the season is shaping up so far. There's a wonderful Taylor Flats 200 coming up in a couple weeks, but more on that a little bit later. We're hoping to connect with Tumbler Ridge Mayor Daryl Krakowka this morning. We're having a few technical difficulties, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break and try and get a stable connection with him. We'll be talking about residents returning to Tumbler Ridge and all that good stuff right after this with the mayor of Tumbler Ridge on Moose Talks.
Moose FM is out and about, supporting your favorite local business.
This is the best place to get your appliances here in FSJ. I'm Bernard at City Furniture on 100 Avenue. You notice your appliances aren't working well anymore, been repaired many times and about to bite the dust. Time to replace it. City Furniture has a great selection of appliances for the kitchen and laundry room. Great brands like Samsung, Whirlpool, and much more. Do you have a big family, or maybe you want that personal frozen treats freezer? They have deep freezes in stock, starting as low as $2.99. Buying from City Furniture it's so much easier with flexible financing, up to 6 months on home appliances. Terms and conditions apply. Visit cityfurniturecanada.com for all the details. It's City Furniture on 100 Avenue.
June 21st, 2023 is National Indigenous Peoples Day. As a proud partner of Blueberry River First Nation, Kihu Mastech Joint Venture is honored to support Indigenous communities and joins its celebration and recognition of their unique heritages, diverse cultures, and outstanding contributions as First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. On this day, they celebrate the truth and feel inspired to help build the legacy of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people today and into the future.
Join Trail Echo every Sunday at 1 p.m. for The Trail Ahead, brought to you by FSJ Co-op. Trail will be bringing the North Peace events, news, and stories from Doig River and other First Nations throughout the Treaty 8 territory.
The way storytelling has evolved over the century is incredible. Seeing what's happening on Facebook, all of these things make keeping up with friends and family easier. But is it storytelling?
Trail will be teaching you the Dene Za language through the Beaver Word of the Day. Join him every Sunday starting at 1.
Are you still driving around with a chipped or cracked windshield? You're definitely not alone. At Alpine Glass, we strongly suggest getting your windshield fixed before it becomes a bigger problem. Book an appointment today and have us repair or replace your windshield. Plus, Alpine Glass handles your ICBC glass claims, which means we not only fix your windshield, but we'll process your claim directly with ICBC. Learn more at alpinewindows.ca or give us a call at 250-785-6409.
Watch this show live on Facebook or download the podcast at energeticcity.ca.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. We have a stable connection now, so I'm very pleased to be welcomed, or rather to welcome, the mayor of Tumbler Ridge, Daryl Krakowka, who joins us from Tumbler Ridge, I believe, this morning. Daryl, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for the invite, Ward.
Hey, I'm very happy you're joining us here. So earlier this week, we knocked on wood and said, hopefully we're able to have a bit of a happier conversation during this interview when we set it up. And we can, because Tumbler Ridge residents were able to start returning home yesterday because you've rescinded the evacuation order. Can you give us kind of a quick update on how that's going? Have you seen, as far as you know, most of the residents returning home yet?
Yeah, so I was actually able to get out last night out of the office early. So I've actually stayed in Tumbler Ridge the whole time. So it was great. It was great to see people out cutting their lawns, the children out riding their bikes and playing. And yeah, it was phenomenal to see some of the families come back. I don't know the number, but not everybody came back all at once yesterday. So I know we're going to see some more today, which is great because that just helps the highway safety and stuff like that, people not trying to rush back. So yeah, it's great to see the residents back in Tumbler.
Yeah, how's the smoke situation in town there? As you say, people were out and about, so it must not be that bad in terms of the air quality, eh?
No, with the wind coming out of the west and still going east, it's obviously taking the smoke to other municipalities, which it's probably tough. I would think somewhere down in the Dawson area and stuff like that, but yeah, it's fairly clear here. So that's really assisted us. I mean, we can see the Wolverine Valley and even our Ridge Mountain, the Bald Spot. You can see it fairly clear this morning.
That's wonderful. Just as kind of the leader of the community, the elected leader anyway, tell us kind of your feelings right now. It must be relief after kind of having a week where you stayed in Tumbler Ridge, but most of the people were, heading to Chetwynd, Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, and even into Alberta to evacuate. It must feel good to, as you say, see them coming back, eh? And relieved would be a good way to describe it, eh?
Yeah, it's a huge relief knowing that, our own local volunteer fire department and even BC Wildfire Services, all the mutual aid fire departments, the mutual aid with BC Wildfire Services, we lost no houses, we've lost trees and stuff like that, but that's what we hoped for the whole time, is weather, the rain, the wind changing, and it did. And like I said, we didn't lose any structures and stuff like that, and that's the best part of it.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to take a minute to ask you a bit about the support you did receive from other communities. The original order said, go to Chetwynd, go to Dawson Creek. It wasn't too long after that you had to start diverting people to Fort St. John because there just wasn't hotel space. There weren't supports available in those two towns. Talk a bit about the support you did receive from other municipalities in the area who were happy to take in residents while, they weathered the situation.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all those communities are great and the cities are great. I know when the order first came out, it was all directed to Dawson Creek. That was the first ESS and reception center that was able to get open. And then I'm not sure how long it took. I'll be honest, I didn't have the timelines. And then Chetwynd came on board as well with Highway 29 being open. And I know ESS, I'm not an ESS worker or in that field, but I know they communicate very well between all their organizations, between Dawson and Chetwynd and then Fort St. John. So obviously they know how many rooms they have available. So as obviously Chetwynd started to fill up, they were obviously sending that information to Dawson, and Dawson knew that they were starting to fill up. So Fort St. John also was already activated. So then they started sending some of our residents up to Fort St. John to reception there.
Yeah, and I did want to take a moment, too, to ask you a bit about the situation where some residents went to Grand Prairie to evacuate, and now I guess it's sort of resolved itself because they're able to come home now, but they weren't able to access some of the supports because they had decided to go to Alberta. Did that surprise you that there was some sort of a situation that prevented that from happening that was, an interprovincial problem? And are you, in spite of the fact that everyone's coming home, are you still hoping to work, with Mike Bernier and with other kind of interested parties to say, if we have to be evacuated again, whether it's us, Chetwynd, Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, and people want to cross the border, this needs to be a situation that's resolved because people are going to go to Alberta if they have to evacuate sometimes.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I thank you for the question because I did have some residents reach out that did go on to Grand Prairie. Some went our back way, so we have some back forth roads that you can make it into Grand Prairie. So some chose to go that way. Some did go through, whether it was through Chetwynd to Dawson or directly to Dawson, and being, said that they're full, that they need to move on to Fort St. John. Some of those residents thought, do you go to Fort St. John and hope for a room or get there and be turned around? So I understand that. So some have reached out. I know I talked to one lady through Messenger. I explained to her what I was being told by ESS and our own EOC, that, please phone Dawson Creek, get registered. They'll tell you that they still have rooms. And if you're comfortable, come back. She did. I'm not sure how big her family is. She did. And I know some did not. So I know I had another individual reach out. He's got some seniors with them and stuff like that. And I'll be straightforward. It's not something that's off my plate. I sent email after email back to our EOC, and I know our EOC has sent that off to the ESS and reception. It went all the way to the regional, which I believe is in Prince George. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what day, and they have sent that off right directly to the minister's office. So we are waiting to hear back. And I hope to meet these residents in town as they return. I don't plan on letting that go. I have a meeting today with Bob Zimmer. Mike Bernier's reached out, and he understands it too. He used to be in government, now he's the opposition, and he understands that interprovincial stuff, and I get it. But when you have a fire and you're being told to evacuate immediately, people try to go wherever they know they can go. We had people go as far as Penticton, Oliver, Prince George, Mackenzie. In my understanding, some of those individuals got help because obviously they're in the province of BC. But I'm not, this isn't over. I will be sending another email again. I do have direct contact with Minister Ma. I don't think I want to text her and say, hey, listen, I need this. I think they need to work through their plans and hear from their ESS receptions. And I'm still, I hope we can get them assistance. I hope they kept receipts. And, we'll wait for the government to tell us that, no, they're not going to do it and this is why. And then obviously I'll have to talk to those residents. I mean, it's not 3 residents like the one gentleman I talked to via Facebook. He wouldn't email me, and that's fine. Or call. There were some seniors with them, and I understand when you get a senior settled in a hotel finally after 5 or 6 hours of being on a highway, they don't want to move. They don't want to be uproar. Mm-hmm. So, I'm still working on it. I know people don't think I was, but 100%. I've sent those emails, waiting for replies. Nothing goes fast. in receiving those answers, what they expect from us.
I want your take on the stories. We heard about it and did an article about it at energeticcity.ca, along with you and sort of emergency services like firefighters and stuff. There were some residents who chose not to obey the evacuation order, but they decided to start helping out. They were looking after people's animals that got left behind, turning off gas valves, that sort of thing. What did you make of that, the situation, those few residents who stayed behind but were helpful to the residents who, left in a hurry as they were supposed to?
Yeah, and I understand. Like, we put the order out for a reason. That was on the experience of BC Wildfire Service. They're the ones that called in, gave the fire behavior and the risk assessment, gave that direction or that overview, and then obviously we started the process of signing a local state of emergency in that process to evacuate. I do understand people stayed back to help out, and whether it was watering gardens or whatever they did. Again, I take my opinion and take the experience from BC Wildfire Service, the partners they work with, our EOC, and honestly, to me, we have to follow the order. We're trying to save lives. That's my job, public safety. So my comment would be, these people that want to stay behind, the best thing to do is, join our volunteer fire department, join our local search and rescue. They need more members. And, again, they're Canadians. They have a right to make that decision, but an order is there for a reason. It was for public safety. Obviously, we're a small community, so I know quite a few of these residents. So, I understand people are very thankful that their gardens are there and stuff. But again, I have to follow the direction of the professionals. And that's, hearing from BC Wildfire Services, but also hearing from our EOC and make those decisions. It's tough being on that side, and people call you a politician, and, we're here. I'm here for public safety. That's what I can say to that.
Mm-hmm. All right. One final question for you. Well, we kind of look ahead now. As you said, the fire's kind of blown back on itself, essentially. Got some rain, some more rain, I believe is forecast kind of coming up very soon. So what's kind of next? Because, of course, the town is still under an evacuation alert. It's not an order, but everyone still has to be ready to go at a moment's notice. What are we kind of looking for in the forecast to keep pushing this fire away? What's our kind of best case scenario here?
Yeah, some understanding. So I'll be honest, I didn't get a full update by BC Wildfire Service. I don't sit in all those meetings, so I listen to the update we get. Again, weather. We need the wind to keep coming from the west going east, which again, I know it does threaten other areas of our region. So whether it's One Island Lake and stuff, but and rain. I believe our forecasts predicted up to 50 to 100 millimeters of rain within our area. Where it hits, we're not sure, but we need the rain. We need the rain. BC Wildfire Service, I know, is still working on a fire guard. So, they're the professionals when it comes to fighting the forest fires, and that's what we take. So we understand how they're going to put a guard in and where. I'm not sure of the location, but weather, rain. We need rain, and it's not just Tumbler Ridge. The whole Peace Regional District needs rain. You look north of Fort St. John. I mean, they need a ton of rain up there as well. And our hearts go out to those people too. It's not, we don't just care about Tumbler Ridge. I mean, you're from Fort St. John, and we live in God's country up here. It's we're all one big group that comes to support each other. And when we've seen that with Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Chetwynd, but also their fire departments. Like we had Chetwynd's fire department here, Kuskoobie's fire department, Dawson Creek's, Charlie Lakes. Like, it's phenomenal how everybody comes together.
Wonderful. Well, Daryl, I'm really grateful you took a few minutes to chat with us today. And again, I'm happy we were able to have a happier conversation with everyone coming back. We'll, of course, keep watching this story closely, and hopefully we'll be able to touch base again and have more happy news to share. So thanks for your time today.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Yeah, anytime you want to be available. And just for the people that did go into Grand Prairie, feel free to reach out. I'll be in my office all weekend. I'd like to hear from them just so they understand that I'm still waiting for that answer, and then I'll have their names so I know where the contacts need to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, thanks, Daryl.
Thank you.
All right, that's the mayor of Tumbler Ridge, Daryl Krakowka. Now we'll be right back to talk all about the BC Peace Country River Rats right after this on Moose Talks.
Moose FM is out and about, supporting your favorite local business.
Happy Friday, and as you get ready for the weekend, whatever you're going to be doing, you need fuel, snacks, and bug wash. Perfect time for it because it's Equity Days at the Fort St. John Co-op on 100th Street. That's where I'm at. It's Bernard. Bug wash, limit of 4, Big Cool, ice chillers, ice cream cones, 99 cents. Also, if you mention that you heard this on the radio, you get a free hot dog or tornado. Once again, if you mention that you heard this on the radio, you get a free hot dog or tornado. The Equity Day deals, they go on until tomorrow, so you don't want to miss it at all. The Fort St. John Co-op on 100th Street.
Today is the best summer sale at Ernie's. All day, in-stock items are all 20% off. Huge hourly specials start at 6 p.m. with pickleball and disc golf 40% off. 7 p.m., all footwear is buy one, get one at 70% off. Then, from 8 to 9 p.m. only, buy one, get one at 70% off all clothing. See in-store for details. The Summer Solstice Sale, today, only at Ernie's.
The Work BC Fort St. John Job Fair is your opportunity to find your next big advancement in your career. Next week on June 20th, visit the Pomeroy Hotel and Conference Center at 12. This is your chance to open new doors in your profession or start something new at the Work BC Fort St. John Job Fair. There will be many different exhibitors, which means you will have so many new opportunities waiting for you.
For more details, go to fsjjobfair.ca, presented by Work BC Fort St. John and supported by CN, He Who Mastech Joint Venture, BC Corrections, Team Snubbing Services Incorporated, and Moose FM.
I never get to stay up late. My dad won't take off my training wheels. I accidentally threw my shoes on the roof of the school.
Kids should have kid problems.
I'm gonna have to skip lunch today.
Not hunger problems. 1 in 3 food bank clients are children. That's why on June 21st at Subway, $1 from every footlong sold goes to the Never Miss Lunch program in support of Food Banks Canada. Join Subway on June 21st and help feed kids in communities like yours. Guaranteed minimum donation of $600,000 Canadian for 2023.
Hey there, wondering how to show Dad your love and appreciation this year? Well, look no further. We've got gift cards available for massages, haircuts, and tons of other relaxing services he'll surely enjoy. So, why not give the gift of relaxation this Father's Day with a gift card to the Hairpin? Make Dad feel extra special and pampered. The Hairpin Salon, Barber and Spa, voted People's Choice Salon and Spa since 2011. Find them on Facebook and at hairpin.com.
When it comes to picking out our next vehicle, we're all looking for different things, but the crew at Murray GM in Fort St. John has them all covered. Whether you need bigger and faster, safe and reliable, or something with more space for the family, Murray GM has a huge selection of vehicles for whatever you need. Trucks, Jeeps, vans, cars, SUVs, they'll be happy to help you find the perfect fit. See the lineup of new and used vehicles today at Murray GM on Alaska Road and at murraygm.com.
Moose Country weather.
Today we're going to see a high of 18 degrees with a chance of showers, and it looks like later tonight we're going to see some thunderstorms and a chance of rain. Tomorrow a high of 14 degrees, mainly sunny skies, and Sunday high of 16 under rainy skies. There is a special air quality statement in effect right now for the smoky air.
Our community first. This is Moose Talks with Dub Craig on Moose FM.
All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Dub Craig. We're very happy now to be in the presence of some wonderful people from the BC Peace Country River Rats. We're joined now by Gord Humphreys and Jason Palffy, who was president up until, I guess, this year. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. You can get a little closer to that mic, Jason. You've got to make love to the mic, Jason.
Yeah, perfect.
So the River Rats, you're kind of like a, I guess, jet boating competition team club sort of situation. Tell me a bit about what you guys do.
Well, water users is what we go by. The club, we do put on our functions, whether it's the poker rally, races, and then also we do a river cleanup. We have a few campsites along the river for water users, canoers, kayakers, jet boaters, whatever your means of transportation of getting there. And we maintain them and keep them open for public.
I see. Yeah, so it's not just about the jet boat racing. It's just
No.
water using in general. You're sort of like stewards of kind of the area, I
Basically,
suppose.
yes.
eh?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Well, I mean, but you are both jet boaters, so tell me a bit about getting into that. Like, how did that become something that you do?
well, the club also it gives us an opportunity to come together. So the jet boaters, water users, it gives us a good club, a good group, basically to pull together and network with. You know, and it's pretty advanced. The club has, you know, we raise money through memberships and sponsorships, and it's not just a club, a meeting. We've done infrastructure improvements, building pavilion down at Peace Island Park, a playground for the kids, and we have a structure up at Happy Hour that we built. And so, you know, it's a lot deeper roots than just the club. You know, we're trying to give back to the community.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Everyone, we love reading the stories about what you guys have been doing for the community. I mean, how did you both get involved in it then? I mean, you must have been water users before and just saw, oh, well, I could be a part of this, I suppose, eh?
Well, yeah.
For me, it was just an access to the backcountry, getting in and seeing areas that people don't see on a regular basis, and then it turned into joining something that a guy liked to do, whether you're into cars or ATVs or whatever. It was just there was a club that was on the water, and that's how I ended up joining, and I think I've been involved now for almost 20 years with the Peace Country River Rats.
Wow. Were you already like a jet boater enthusiast before, or just like...
No, it was just I came across one of our old time members that's been there since, well, quite a bit of time, and he asked to go for a jet boat ride, and all of a sudden you go up there and you fall in love with it. You know, and all of a sudden it was, I think, a year or two later I'd bought my own jet boat, and you learn by doing, and you get out there and see some different country.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Same question to you, Gord. How'd you get in?
Yeah, mine was, it's a bit different. I actually was asked to navigate for a race team in 2000, I believe, quite a few years ago. Date myself. But so I navigated in a race boat. It was quite an entry-level race boat, but you know, by the time I finished, and that was my first experience really even riverboating, was straight into racing. So I started off same thing with just an entry-level race boat in that year, and then it just took off. At you know, and then it exponentially went crazy. So then I started doing what Jason is doing, and doing backcountry jet boating, you know, highly involved in the racing. So really that's what got me into it. And, you know, it's a great place to be.
Yeah. How big of a sport would you say this is kind of in the Peace Country? I mean, you hold the competitions. The Taylor Flats is coming up very soon. You get lots of people out to these events that you put on?
Yeah, well, we have 3 communities in the Peace. So Peace River, Alberta, and Taylor, Fort St. John, our club, and then we have a club. There is a club in Grand Prairie. Oh, okay. The 3 host race, and so they come in the series. So it's the first, second, third round of the series of racing. And then on a larger scale, every 4th year, we put on a world championship.
Wow.
So on a weekend race, you know, we can see 20 to 30 competitors on the course of a weekend race. And then when we put on a world championship every 4th year, we'll see in excess of 60 teams from around the world.
Wow. And I mean, that must say something about the group you have here, that you have the cachet to put on a world championship, that you're on the map in order for, you know, competitors to come here to do that, eh?
Yeah, and you know what, that stems back to the infrastructure that we have built over the years. They enjoy coming here because we have great boat launch facility, camping at Peace Island Park, and we have a pretty organized race. So yeah, no, it's great.
Do you think there's something about, I didn't put this on the question list, so you could say I don't know, but do you think there's something about the Peace River that makes it so ideal for this? The way it winds, is there something unique about it that allows for this, that makes this sport happen here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, once again, it's facility based.
Yeah.
A lot of the other racers, there's a lot of travel, where you can camp, where you can stay, where you can put the event on. It can't all be done in one spot. We have the luxury of our races. We have everything. They can pull in with race boats, crews. We have one facility. You don't have to leave it, and we can do all the racing. And then, of course, we race we have a fantastic circuit race. We have a great course down for the circuits, and then we race up the Pine. And it's, the Pine's always unique at speed with, multiple hazards. So, and water level, so it changed. So it's a unique event, and people, they really enjoy it.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, the season's kind of already underway for you. I think you won a pair of trophies at Race the Joe in Illinois just like last month. Tell me a bit about that. Does this mean you can kind of race all year round if you kind of go south into the United States?
Yeah, that was Idaho.
Oh, sorry, Idaho. Pardon me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we did compete in Idaho. That was a second round of a 4-round series. And it's Race the Joe, and we were fortunate to have a first overall win, and we had fast course time for the weekend, so that was good. And as far as running around, we are going to return to a 4th race of their series in Lewiston, Idaho, in the end of August. Yeah, and that it keeps going. We are going to be competing in New Zealand in the fall in October, and that is a world championship. And so we've been in Mexico, we've been in New Zealand. That is basically the 4 countries, Canada and the United States, that put on the racing.
Wow, it must be getting your boat to New Zealand. I guess you kind of got to ship it to yourself there,
yeah,
right?
Throw it in a container and send it off.
Wow, that's amazing. I did want to quickly make sure we talk a bit about Taylor Flats, the 200. It's coming up kind of Canada Day weekend. Tell us about that, and where people listening, if they're like, I want to go to that, how they get involved, how they can watch.
Well, there's no commission. It starts on the 30th. In Taylor. We've been working closely with the community of Taylor, and I think they've got it now where we're shutting down kind of the frontage road there in front of the Taylor pub and the pizza store, and we've got a show and shine happening there and a tech spec. What else we got going on here? We got classic
You're being handed a poster to hold up.
Poster here. We got
to read.
There's going to be the classic car club, the car culture club, the show and shine for the race boats. We got to be there for a tech spec for the race weekend. An RC club is going to be there. They've made there's going to be a popcorn stand, face painting, mini donuts. All the things for the kids. It's our 10th. Our 10th race, so kind of a big celebration. We do have Eagle Vision coming to look after a bunch of the races, the race stuff. So we're hoping to have the big screen all set up down at the Taylor boat launch for spectators, because it can be a quite, you watch the boats go by and that's what you see. So we're hoping to get a little more footage for spectators to see, and it's free of charge. Show up, find out the times.
The times are June 30th. It's 6 till 8 is the show and shine, and with boats, bikes, cars, RV cars, and then RC cars. And then the races get underway July 1st. The morning runs are up the Pine. They get underway at 9 o'clock. But for the people to come down and and see what's happening. We have the circuit races where they can keep the eyes on the boats, and they start at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon and 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Okay. And you could go down into Peace Island Park to watch those then?
Peace Island Park, and
Perfect.
it's free to watch.
Awesome. Free is the best part of this whole thing. Awesome. Well, there you have it. Something definitely worth checking out. I appreciate both you coming down here to talk about it. And I hope continued good season for Unnatural Disaster and for the River Rats. Thank you so much for both being here today.
Thank you,
having us.
You're very welcome. Again, that was Gord Humphrey and Jason Palffy with, their boat is Unnatural Disaster, but with the BC Peace Country River Rats. Well, that's the show for us today. Thanks to our guests, Daryl Krakowka and Gord Humphrey and Jason Palffy for being here. Make sure you stay up to date every morning with local news delivered straight to your inbox. You can sign up for the energeticcity.ca newsletter right now at energeticcity.ca/newsletters. You can also keep up on local municipal government politics with our Peace Politics newsletter and learn about some excellent local events and ideas for getting out and about in the Peace with our brand new summer events newsletter. Again, sign up for a few or all of them now at energeticcity.ca/newsletters. That's our show. Jordan Prentice and Trey Lopashinsky are the producers of Moose Talks. I'm Dub Craig. Be well.
Join us next Friday at 10 a.m. for another episode of Moose Talks, a weekly talk show about Fort St. John and the North Peace.